You know the name of the game. I love giving unsolicited social media advice to anyone and everyone that will absolutely talk to me about it. It is a thing that I do. We will be having a casual conversation. We could be talking about you, or we could be talking about something that is not even related to social media. And what do? A light bulb goes off. And then it comes out of my mouth and I share it with you because I see things in people that make them absolutely wonderful with who they are. And sometimes the thing that you think can't be a brand is a brand for you. And if I can plant a little tiny seed to make you see that, I'm going to do that. So today we are doing something that I don't normally do. It is a very first for me. And we're going to dive into a really top performing YouTuber, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. And we're going to see how he is using Spice Tea, which is my favorite little acronym, as well as maximizing the Facebook algorithm to make his page stand out with the exuberant and wonderful amount of followers that he has. So let's get started, y'all. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about Evan Carmichael. He is absolutely phenomenal. If you have no idea who he is, you need to. He crushes it in the YouTube space. Absolutely crushes it with over 4 million followers on YouTube. Hello. I think I would be listening to him as well. Not to mention, I recently learned that his videos and his teachings are translated in, I believe it's 76 different languages. Mind blowing. Talk about like game changer learning capacity. Absolutely love it. Not to mention his persona is such a vibe. It is all about giving back, believing in yourself, and rewriting the story that you tell yourself in order to find your own success within. So totally up my alley. But let's see how he's using my favorite acronym, Spice Tea, and how he's building community with his 350,000 followers on Facebook, shall we? So it looks like he did a post today. Kudos for him. It is a reel. Not sure how long ago he posted it. However, the interaction that he has with only 5 people, I would anticipate that he should have far more. So what I found really curious about this, though, is there's a trend on how much is getting dispersed out. And if you've learned anything from me, you know that Facebook, there is a finesse to it. There is a finesse to maximizing the algorithm because the goal isn't quantity for content. The goal is quality for content. And I know that with 4 million followers on YouTube, he is crushing it for quality content. Now, how do we translate that into other platforms? I'm going to insert this little nugget for you because I think it's really important that we all understand there's always one platform that we strive and we excel at over other platforms. If you look at any individual person, they will always have more followers on one platform than another. However, you should still find a way to maximize your reach with your engagement on all your other platforms. Because having followers is wonderful, but the algorithm's really gonna love you if you are keeping people on their platform. Because at the end of the day, that is the name of the game, is to suck our time away on our phones, staying on the platforms. So, great job for followers. You posted today, you posted yesterday. You had a little more traction there. Then you posted on the 24th. So that's 3 days in a row of posting. Here's why I would not do that. When you post too much content together on Facebook, your algorithm is not giving itself time to find the right people, and it will automatically bump one of your posts down, meaning you are competing with yourself. So why compete with yourself? My goal every time I post on Facebook is to see how I can maximize a post to live 28 days in my feed. I have not broken the 28-day feed, but I keep talking about it because at one point I'm going to manifest it and one of my posts will live longer than 28 days in the Facebook feed. It will. I'm bringing it into fruition, y'all. So what I would do is I would do more videos like this of him because at the end of the day, the page is him. Let's build that know, like, trust with him. I want to see the individual who he is, and I want to feel that warm, fuzzy feeling like that's my bestie, even though I don't even know the guy, right? I just love his videos. I love what he teaches. You guys need to jump on that because that is why I am doing a video right now, because of Evan Carmichael. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Anyways, moving on. So here's another video. This one had better traction. There are some comments, but let's take a look if we've engaged with the individuals. Not yet. So what I like to do is I have an entire system to this. When I post my content, I let it ride. I wait to see if the notifications are dying off. Once they start to die off, guess what I do? I go back in there and I resurrect that post. Works every single time like a charm. I never do it on Saturday or Sunday or Friday night. Here's why. People are out living their lives. They're doing the best that they can. They're having fun. They're not necessarily on their phones as much as they are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, maybe even 7 p.m., depending on how you look at it on Facebook, right? So what I do is I wait, unless it's on a weekend, when that post or reel starts to fall off, I will then go back in, resurrect it, and start commenting and building community by responding to the comments. Do you know who does a really good job of this? Wendy's. Wendy's Facebook page, it's like magic. I love their page so much. Not only have they created a persona around the page, but they actually respond to the commenters. So that would be my advice for Evan, is start experimenting and playing around with the comments to see how he can build more community to amplify those people that want to get to know him more. And then Facebook's going to reward him and start pumping him out. He doesn't have to post as often as he's posting. He just has to engage more and have higher quality content. Like this one, for example. Here's another one that is of him, and look at the traction compared to some of the others. This one is not him. Therefore, it did not perform as well. Here's another kick too. Sometimes Facebook will deem that this is not original content because maybe it's out in the world, floating around Facebook, and it's on other people's pages, right? So they'll be like, that's a little spammy, y'all, and they won't pump it out. So 10 out of 10, don't recommend. Now, if he was going to clip part of this and then insert his perspective, his point of view, his anything on this, then I would say job well done. However, this is a video of someone else maximizing what they've done to amplify his engagement, and unfortunately, it did not work here. This one I was really intrigued about. So this was 5 days ago, 3 days ago, and 5 days ago. So we had 2 that he competed against on the same day. When you post 2, so this one has 22 reactions 5 days ago. This one has 2 reactions 5 days ago. Now that I expected. Here's why. You are literally competing against yourself when you post back to back like that. So if I'm going to post in the morning today, and then I decide, oh, this is really cool, let me post in the evening today, guess what Facebook algorithm is going to do? It's going to pick one. And whichever post is going out to the audience and is receiving the traction, that's where it's going to feed. However, I have seen that when you do a static post like this, and then you do a reel, and then share that reel into your story on the same day, usually do well that way because they're different spaces and they're not going to compete against each other. But when you do 2 static posts on the same singular day, or you do back to back to back to back, like 3 days in a row, you're competing against yourself. The goal is to maximize your posts so you're pumping out less content, but a higher quality of content, because Facebook will notice. And then Facebook's going to send you this little notification that, yay, you've graduated. You produce great quality content. Because I've seen it in some of my clients and I've seen it in myself. It is a notification that they send out and they will say, good job. Now we're going to pump your content out to more people. That is the name of the game and that is the goal. Another thing that I found curious here was I really liked these quotes. They were great. It's really on brand for him. However, there's a lot of them. So if he had just taken one, like a singular photo and just had one quote, maybe broke up his verbiage that had a aesthetic flow where it goes left to right and then some breaks instead of it being an entire paragraph, I think he would have done really well. This post, I'm willing to bet, is a carousel on his Instagram. Because of the way it's structured, it looks like it's a swipeable thing. And then on Instagram, a lot of times people will do these clunky paragraphs instead of breaking things up. So for me, what I would have done, true freedom comes from letting go. Fear, judgment, and the need of control gets us stuck. I would have done another line right after that. Because when I'm scrolling through Facebook, guess what I'm going to see? Those words right there. And then I'm going to have to click the more to see more what he's talking about. But because it's in a paragraph form, I automatically, non-consciously look at this and I'm like, whew, I don't know if I want to read that. That's a lot. But when there's line breaks and spacing difference, I'm going to be like, oh, this looks a little easier. I think I can do it. And I would do one photo on Facebook. I would not do a carousel because carousels just, they don't translate as well as you would hope that they would on Facebook versus Instagram. Another thing that I found interesting was this one. This is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. But here we are, they're both competing against each other. So this one performed well and it followed exactly what I'm saying it should follow. Whereas this one is a carousel that was shared over from Instagram. I'm willing to bet, I could be wrong, and therefore it did not perform as well, right? This, good job. I love this, great photo. The only thing you're missing is momentum. And then he has some verbiage right here. It's a little clunky with the paragraph, probably also something that was shared over from Instagram because he's saying to follow himself. And when you at someone on Facebook, this will turn blue, but that's not blue. So it's either because he's adding himself, which I'm not 100% sure that that would be accurate. It should probably still be blue, or it's a share from Insta, which I get it. Sometimes it's easier just to pump it out in Meta Business Space and then dish it out. But when the system is not working for you, then we have to go back and reevaluate what to do. This one I was really intrigued by because as you see, he got 341 likes. So it's two things. Either an ad was ran with this, and that's why it performs really well. Because when you share more emotionally heartfelt things, I have done it with quotes on Facebook. And when I tell you just a simple static post that is a quote, I have had over 600 shares and I have had almost 2,000 reactions with my little tiny account of 4,800 followers. And I think I threw like 30, maybe $50 at it over a course of 3 days. And to see that traction, I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. So this is either an ad or this is what he should be posting more of. I wonder if I go to Reels, let's see if
sometimes a hug is all you need.
That's great. Let's see. I want to test. Will it show me? Nope, it's loading. I just want to see a hug. Sometimes a hug is all you need. So that is on par for exactly where the followers he has. So 21,000 views on this reel, and he's got 341 likes. So that is a job well done there. I'm willing to bet that's an ad though. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay, because the reason why I say that is the day before he did a video of himself and it only had 5 reactions and 1 share, which I wonder if any of these are getting shared over into his stories. Let's take a look at his story real quick. No, totally different stories. So what I would do as, love this though, it's great that he's sharing things like that. I would take his reels and I would share them over into his stories because people on Facebook live in different spaces, right? So if I'm on Facebook, I may not necessarily live in the reel section. However, the stories is at the top of every single person's homepage. And what's really great about that is I can just click watch a couple, and move on. And every couple seconds, even if you just keep your page on and you don't do anything else, you'll see the stories kind of rotate of who the people are. So it's different people. I also am not 100% sure, other than authoritative expert and a little bit of storytelling, what the vibe is that he's doing. And if you know, with Spice Tea, it's all about curating a brand where you are the guide that then creates the viewer or the audience as the hero. And I 100% subscribe to that method on Facebook because it works like a charm. When I tell you, people who have absolutely no idea who you are in real life feel like they know, like, and trust you. And then if they ever get an opportunity to meet you in person, they're like, I feel like we're BFFs. We know each other. This is wonderful. You pull them into your life a little bit. And that's exactly what Evan did down here. So Evan took a trip recently and he shared some of his trip with all of us, which is absolutely wonderful. So here's a picture of him and his beautiful wife on the plane. Look at the traction that got. Look at how well this performed. 31 reaction. That tells me absolutely everything I need to know, that on Facebook, he needs to be pulling people more into who he is as the individual and not the brand. If he does that, his traction will be in the thousands long term. It won't just be 31. He did a really great job here as well. Our last day in Madrid. Now, there's an exuberant amount of photos, which I probably would have picked my top 4, because what Facebook would do is then box them into like a thing of 4s, and then that way people don't have to scroll through. And then the rest I may have put in my story to have my story, you know, feel like you're on the journey with me, right? So good job, Evan, with that. Again, this one performed really, really well as well. I think he's got a lot of promising progress. This one is phenomenal. This one right here, y'all, look how adorable they look. Absolutely stunning background. This is a picturesque photo. It's clean, it's crisp. This is in a very, very adorable, short, to the point caption. And look at that, 11 comments as well. 11 comments on here. Now, what I would do is I would go back through, I would heart, I would like these, I would even respond, thank you, or if it's someone that I have more of a relationship with, I would acknowledge that relationship publicly and just be like, hey man, see you later, appreciate it. You know, like, let them know, like, if you know type of thing, so that way that person feels seen, they feel heard, and they feel pretty much a part of the community, because that's what you want. So this one is absolutely phenomenal. Evan, please do more of this. Pull them into your world. Let Facebook be the place where they get to know who the man is behind the brand. And I think that you will soon see that you will far outperform and exceed any of your expectations moving forward. Anyways, thank you guys so much for this. This was fun. This is my very 3rd time doing video, thanks to the Coaching with Evan Carmichael. And I can't wait to see what happens with his Facebook in the future. And if you ever see this, I got you for Facebook. See you guys.